It's been one of the kindest winters for Northland growers, certainly one of the best in recent years. Our contact described the conditions as more like a late autumn with lots of sunshine. Plenty of feed means the cattle market's strong, prices are good, though there's less stock around due to changing land uses and farming practices. It's driving the store market as farmers look to fatten stock up on the extra feed. In Pukekohe, sheds stored onions and pumpkin, along with recently grown outdoor vegetables, remain in abundant supply. June has been mild with adequate rainfall, while July has brought cooler weather.
Waikato has also had very favourable conditions. Our dairy farmer friend says pasture cover is higher than usual, which means cows are in better condition. Things are generally pretty good, though the latest global dairy trade prices were disappointing. In a few weeks, most dairy farmers will be right into calving. Preparations are underway in the meantime. The kiwifruit harvest is now complete, with growers busy pruning, tying down vines and making any changes on orchard. With 197 million trays sold, it's thought to be their biggest season ever, and growers are confident about marketing results. It's a different story for avo growers, where picking is soon to start. Fruit is looking good, and there are high hopes for better prices this year after last season's domestic glut due to poor weather.
It's been a good run-up to winter for King Country farmers. There's plenty of feed around, and one sheep and beef farmer described conditions this week as spring-like. Pregnancy scanning results were good, and things were ticking along nicely. He just has his hoggets to scan next month. With low returns on sheep, farmers are knuckling down and trying to reduce spending. Most have been busy with maintenance jobs like fencing or trying to get off farm for a bit. Taranaki farmers have also had a good season. Our dairy farmer in Opunaki had good autumn calving rates and was busy with winter milking. Others he knew were already a week into their calving for spring milking. With rainfall down, it's been a slightly drier winter, but there's been plenty of feed. Grass and crops like maize and oats have seen moderate to good growth.
The east coast, Te Tai Rāwhiti, was hit with heavy rainfall last week. There was no major damage or reports of stock losses, but flooding and slips have damaged tracks, fence lines and brought down trees onto power lines around the region. The mandarin harvest has come to an end, with navel orange picking about to begin. Our grower contact says it had been a much better winter until last week's wet, but the domestic market was feeling a bit flat. It's been a cooler winter for apple growers in Hawke's Bay. The chill makes the trees more fruitful come spring and could lead to earlier budding this year. Most growers were all hands to the deck with pruning trees and pulling out old blocks. After a tough few years for the industry, most are looking to be consolidating rather than expanding.
The month just been has been exactly what was needed for farmers in Manawatu Rangatike. Warm temperatures have allowed many to recover from the earlier dry conditions with good grass growth. Crops like kale and fodder beet have also been coming along well. Early sheep pregnancy scanning results have been unsurprisingly disappointing, with most down about 5 to 10% due to the tough autumn. The first of the dairy calves are on the ground. In Wairarapa, the mood has also improved following a late-season drought. Recent rain has helped grass grow and the feed situation has improved. Prices for a lot of products like wool and lamb remain depressed, though. Dairy farmers are into calving.
Across Cook Strait to a hop garden at Tapawera in the Whakatū, Tasman region. And the winter work of tidying up the hop tails and straightening up the hop pins for the stringing program is well through. Weed management's being planned for the best outcome with as little herbicide used as possible. In the processing sheds, hop picking machinery and drying kilns being checked and serviced. Rain has been welcome after a prolonged dry phase, and solid frosts are predicted, all good for hop plant health. It's been incredibly mild too, giving pastoral farmers some much-needed late-season grass growth. Months of dry conditions in the Marlborough Sounds have impacted ewe scanning results. Pregnancy rates are about 10% lower than last year. The farmer we talked to says the lower scanning results won't necessarily mean less income ahead though, as single-born lambs will survive better and grow out heavier in his no-fertiliser system. The road network to farms in the outer sounds is gradually improving, but there's still no stock truck access for livestock farmers who are already struggling with low prices, high interest rates and winter.
Our contact at Ross on the west coast says there's been little rain and good temperatures so far this winter. Saying that, this week it's been frosty and there's a heap of fresh snow on the Alps. The main job at the moment on farm is moving brakes, tidying races, feeding out silage and getting things ready for calving. That's due to start in about 4 weeks. On other farms, though, calving's about to get underway and the first milk collection in the region begins on July the 15th. For the last month, Canterbury's been quite wet and cold, much to the relief of the dryland areas, in particular North Canterbury, although a lot more rain is required to get farmers out of a soil moisture deficit. Across the region, feed levels are tight, with stocks of straw and baleage rapidly depleting. Green feed crop levels are back due to the dry summer and autumn, making feed budgeting a high priority. Everyone's hanging out for a nice early spring and a return to normality in terms of sheep meat prices.
Central Otago is chilly. This week, Oturehua had -8 and 9 degree frosts. This bodes well for curling on the Idaburn Dam. To slide a stone safely, the ice needs to be at least 25 millimetres thick. At the moment, though, it's 8, so a lot more freezing is needed. On the land, everyone's in winter mode, feeding out baleage and hay. There's a fair bit of sheep shearing being done too. Young stock are on winter feed crops, and crops under irrigation are looking good. Dryland crops are struggling due to a lack of water. A dairy farmer in Southland, who milks about 2,000 cows near Edendale, says lots of rain in June meant grass growth was double the normal average. Early July's been drier with some light frosts. Good conditions for doing on-farm maintenance and building a new calving pad. Cows are winter feeding on either kale or baleage and grass. Calving gets underway on August the 1st.